Next one, the crystal scorpion, the crystal warrior, or crystal
Welcome, ladies
guardian,
and gentlemen.
whatever.
It's time for another episode of the Lore of League of Legends. Without further ado, I present to you the lore of Skarner, the Crystal Vanguard, joined by the people's favorite, Taric, the Gem Knight.
Is this before they invented Mount Targon? Like, they don't have the Mount Targon in the map, so Taric here is not a god's proxy, or whatever they're called, I believe, right?
Enjoy. Centuries ago, before the Rune Wars have even started, Valoran was inhabited by a race known as the Bracken. They were ferocious and deadly as they were wise. It was a race of creatures blessed with the powers of the earth, gifted with its primal power. Their race was capable of performing ancient rituals to bind their essence to crystals. That allowed them to consume the magic hidden within them. Bracken thrived in the Odin Valley. It was a place with many crystal veins and a good place for them to live. They've protected the crystals and creatures of the valley from anyone who seek to claim its treasures for themselves. They would possibly occupy that terrain until this very day, if not for the devastating effect that the Rune Wars had brought upon the whole of Runeterra. A long deadly battle had taken place a few miles away from the borders of the Odin Valley. Recklessly casted spells of the human mages had spread corruption and chaos upon the land. Land of the Bracken was no different. Their crystals had become poisoned, their primal earth magic was gone from the writhing crystal cores. The ancient race began to grow sick, many of them would even die, and no amount of their magic could stop the diseases. Using their whole wisdom, they've called in the Council of Elders that had decided the only way for the Bracken to survive was to...
Bro, the Scorpions at the Council of Elders. Like, imagine. It's like a bunch of scorpions just gather around.
hibernate underneath the shell of the earth and wait until the land was clear once again. Those who were young, inexperienced, were to be buried deep underground so they would not be affected with the outside world. Those with the most experience, the boldest and most intelligent Bracken, would lay closer to the surface, to awaken first and assess the world. If the Vanguard was certain that the land was healthy enough to provide the Bracken again, he was to pass the news and awaken his kin. If he deemed otherwise, he was to return to his own hibernation until he was awakened once again. Centuries had passed since the burial of the ancient people. Rune Wars had been going over their head, and they had been ended without affecting their beings in any way. Odin Valley had been claimed by the humans, where they had built a town by the name of Kalamander.
Okay.
It used to be a small sleepy town, but looking to improve its situation by mining deep.
Yeah, why are the undead from World of Warcraft are here? Or is that Zaun?
Looking for gold or other valuables. To their own surprise, they found not only gold but also gems. Driven by their greed, they started expanding mining operations to collect every single gem there was under Kalamander. More.
I feel like it's not just greed. I feel like gems and like crystals have like certain power that they can use, kind of like, you know, like how we mine gold for like certain electric capabilities, right? It's not just to look pretty. It also has a function. You know, it's like, so you can't really say it's just by greed.
More and more miners were working in the mines.
Technology, it's advancement.
The city became a heart of conflict between Noxus and Demacia.
Like, oh, shiny.
At the same time, someone felt curious vibrations coming from a place that he once knew. He felt gems that used to provide him with power a long time ago. Someone was trying to steal Bracken's crystals.
Oh wow, how dare they.
Skarner burst out to the surface layers of earth and rock, damaged by the work of all the miners that had been bought here. In anger, he started murdering people around him in rage.
Fuck him.
But soon he realized that all those people were nothing but workers. He managed to calm himself down when he was approached by a couple of mages.
Ah, so he's like super intelligent then. Bro, these mages, these summoners are just literally like going to, like, there's one or two summoners in every fucking corner of anything that is ever happening, like in the fucking random mine. It's like, yo, we're being attacked by some random monster in the mine. Oh, well, the summoners are here, coincidentally. Let's go talk to him.
They'd introduced themselves as representatives of the League and invited him.
I love that the summoners kind of feel like they can right away communicate with like a monster that like is a fucking scorpion. It's like, oh, hey, you want to make a deal?
Into their institute to discuss matters.
Good.
They had exchanged information. Skarner had taught them about the race of the Bracken, their history, goals, and the fact that they still exist. In exchange, the summoners...
Did he also, like, say where they are, so, like, these summoners can just go and, like, obliterate them, or... Like, I think he gave a bit too much information for a race that's supposed to be hibernating in order for its survival.
Has explained everything that happened since the beginning of the First
Like, no,
War
I am the last
Skarner
of my kind.
himself.
You don't fucking tell them
He
there's more.
understood that many changes were made to regulate the use of magic, and he was glad that it had happened. Unfortunately, it was still not enough for his whole race to return.
One day.
He did, however, make an agreement with the so-called summoners of the League. He was explained about the goals of the League and how it worked. Skarner noticed an opportunity in that. By being a part of the League, he could affect the outcome of some important political matters with his own power. Perhaps one day, he would even be able to secure a territory suitable for his race.
But, like, with every video I watch, the more I understand why they dumped this storyline.
That remains to be seen, but Skarner certainly hopes it will happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Tarek is not a native of Valoran or even Runeterra itself. Like many champions in the League, he'd been brought here by accident while one of the League's summoners botched up a spell.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Tarek looks sick in here. And that's not how he looks in game at all. Like, that's real.
That kind of magic was unknown to Tarek, as his world did not know it before. Magic known to his people is much more alike to the magic of the Bracken than any other form of spellcasting used on Valoran. The Gem Knight draws his power from crystals and gems. At the moment, he is only human practitioner of this magic on Valoran. Tarek's father was a healer in a large city back in their native world. Tarek was a good son, and he was always fascinated with the work that his father did. He also wanted to follow in his old man's footsteps. Since his youngest years, he was taught about the healing power of herbs, plants, as well as animal medicines. He learned how to mix ingredients in order to get the best possible effect, how to apply it to patients, and many other things that could secure him a position of a healer. The boy, however, did not find dealing with all those concoctions too pleasurable. He was more fascinated by something else, the power of gems. He spent every spare moment he had
the power of Jesus. Oh.
to study the theory of magic and how to draw power from within the gems. When Tarek grew up, he had already studied every single book.
Is this what Tarek used to look like? Like spiky diamonds? Because he doesn't look like that now at all. Like, I don't think any of his, like, skins have, like, those sharp, diamondy shoulders. Nor does his hammer look very... Well, actually, his hammer kind of looks spiky, but not to this extent. I don't feel like his shoulders are that spiky, though.
In his father's library, and he decided to move out. His goal was not only to gain knowledge, but help people as well. He was, however, aiming for something more than his father did. Being a healer, a simple medic, was not enough for Tarek. He wanted to be a protector of the people and use everything he had to protect them. With the use of his theoretical knowledge, as well as the power of the earth coming from magical crystals, Tarek managed to do just that. He became a wandering knight, renowned across his homeland as a guardian of justice.
Funny enough, though, Tarek looks like the type of character I would play in an MMORPG, but not in League of Legends. Like, he kind of like... That's, like, when I play Paladin in World of Warcraft, that's kind of like what I was thinking when I made the character. But in League, it's like... I'm a little bit more selfish than that.
He would probably spend the rest of his life fighting for those people, if not for the summoning spell that brought him to Runeterra. At first, he was confused and infuriated, but he soon understood that his summoning was not entirely an accident. Valoran needed someone like him, a protector of the people serving justice and not from any kind of local government. He was intended to do his best not to fail those people. He feels good about his presence in the League, where he considers himself to be a protector of those who need one. He is somehow happy about what had happened to him, despite missing his homeland and family. Since his arrival onto the fields of justice, Tarek had been a controversial character. His stylish, neat appearance wearing a shiny, full jeweled armor made him a lot of followers, especially amongst females, and those who would look for cheap sensations. He became almost a local celebrity of sorts, followed by many of Valoran's journalists.
Look at that chin.
Who'd taken great interest in his personal life, but the Gem Knight remains rather quiet about it. He can talk about his life on the fields of justice, but outside the League, he prefers to keep his privacy. And that, once again, is all we have for you. If you like this video in particular, express that by leaving a comment below and clicking that like button, or adding this video to your favorites. Do us a favor though and share.
Wait, can you add videos to favorites? You can't add videos to favorites. Well, why are you like, man? Now you confused me. I know there's like, there's subscribe, there's share. When can you? Could you ever make YouTube videos favorites? Like add YouTube videos to favorites? I do not remember that option at all.
Share it around, get it.
Oh, good. Back in the day. Yeah, in 10 years ago. Alright, cool. Yeah, Tarek is pretty much... I mean, even without knowing Tarek's background, I kind of knew what he was. I didn't know anything about Skarner. Skarner was weird. But yeah, we're gonna go to the next one. And next one should be a bit more interesting because this will relate to current lore a lot more. Well, I believe like what they're gonna do in like Garen and Lux in this one is not gonna relate because it's gonna be different, but they're still brothers, so that relates, and we'll see, because this will be probably like one of the biggest changes from current to old lore, which is the Demacias and Garen and Lux thing. So yeah, let's go into that.